About a year ago, I did something different. I actually was waiting for the Samsung Galaxy Fold to come out, and when it got delayed, instead of doing a big video about the Galaxy Fold, I decided to do a video about the iPhone 6s. I know it was kind of weird, it was kind of random, but it was the last phone supported by iOS 13 as far as the oldest phone. This year I thought I would kind of do it again, maybe with some other phones. So I got the iPhone 7 in 2020. From Amazon Renewed, which is basically a refurbished phone. And I want to talk to you about why this is actually an incredible deal, as I only spent about $150 for this thing, and also why I'm going to have to send it back. Lots to cover on this one. I'll tell you all about it right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back, and for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. A while back, Amazon started the Amazon Renewed program. Now, I think this is a great idea for a lot of products on Amazon. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like going to Best Buy and seeing their open box section. If you're not familiar with this, it's when a product has been opened by a customer and brought back. But this is slightly different than that. For those of you that work in retail, you're probably fully aware of open boxes. That's just simply someone brings it back, someone in customer service looks at it real quick, make sure all the parts are there, turn it on, turn it off, and then put it on the shelf for a discounted price. You actually can get some pretty good deals at places like Best Buy if you go through the open box section. And Amazon has something similar to that with the used section, but they wanted to do something on another level. Refurbished products have been around for many years. I've actually had a lot of great experiences with refurbished products. A long time ago, I bought a monitor that was awesome. Saved a lot of money getting a Sony branded monitor because it was refurbished, and saved a lot of money and got a lot of years out of it. So Amazon decided to start something similar. And what they've done is they've offered some of their third-party sellers, the people on the site that sell for them, the opportunity to sign up for and be certified as an Amazon reseller for this new Renewed program. To be clear, it's not Amazon themselves that are selling these products, even though it's under the Amazon Renewed brand. They are third-party sellers that go through a pretty rigorous setup in order to get through. They actually have to be verified through Amazon, and Amazon's pretty rugged about this because at the end of the day, their name is on this. And you kind of win because a lot of these products seem exactly new, like they're just maybe not in the original box, and they have a 90-day guarantee. Now that's more than the normal 30-day return policy you have for most products. So it looks like a win-win, and for a lot of products on Amazon, it absolutely is. You save a lot of money and you get 90 days. So I thought it'd be fun to buy a whole bunch of phones on Amazon Renewed and see what people think. I mean, if you like this idea for a series, let me know below what phone you'd like for me to check out. Right now, it's the iPhone 7. So let's real quick take a look at what you get with the iPhone 7. Now, I actually haven't done an unboxing on this channel since my 10,000 subscriber video where I unboxed this thing right here. But I'll tell you what, why don't we just take a look at some of the things that happened when I opened this up. It was a little bit underwhelming. As you can see, it's just a box and a power converter, which is great. Obviously not Apple branded. And you get a lightning cable, which, while the quality looks good, is definitely not an Apple brand either. But as you can see, the phone is absolutely beautiful. Like, no scratches. This thing looks like it's brand spanking new for $150, the iPhone 7. This is the 32 gig version. If you remember way back then, that seemed pretty reasonable. Now, you may not remember a lot about the iPhone 7, but here's a couple of things to remember. 3D Touch was a thing on the iPhone 7, and it was the first time where the button on the bottom wasn't an actual button. It was a haptic feedback. So they made a little circle there for Touch ID, and when you press it, you could feel it kind of moving, but it's really just a haptic engine moving the whole phone, so it kind of feels like a button. Now, to be honest, it doesn't really feel like a button, but you do get the haptic response, so at least it is a little bit satisfying. And by and large, this thing performs exactly like I thought it would. It's an A10, which means it's still super fast. That's the same processor that's in the current generation iPad, which does incredible things. And the camera's great. Actually, I was really surprised. I couldn't even remember this thing does 4K 30 frames a second, as well as, 120 frames per second 1080p for slow motion. It's pretty impressive stuff. And again, this is not the iPhone 7 Plus. The iPhone 7 Plus was the first phone with the dual cameras on the back for Apple, where they did the portrait mode for the first time. This is the iPhone 7, the regular version. At $150, this thing is actually coming out to be a pretty darn good deal. It shipped with iOS 13.3 and I was able to upgrade it to 13.3.1, and we already know this thing is probably going to get iOS 14. So right off the bat, it's doing really well. I'm kind of excited. I feel like I got over. Now, to be clear, I'm going to do a full review on this thing in a couple of days. So I don't want to go over the nitty gritty of the specs of this thing. I mean, really, you could Google them if you wanted to, but I will go over all of that stuff, including more video and more picture samples in a couple of days. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to check out that video. Last year, I got Flossie Carter to collab with me on the iPhone 6s video. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but I mean, you never know. The camera quality is good, the video quality is good, and while I'll have more examples of that later on, yeah, you're not going to get the great night mode, you're not going to get all the dynamic range of a current generation phone, but this thing actually works incredibly well. All things being equal, I think a lot of people could actually use this phone easily as their day-to-day driver and be absolutely okay. I'm still amazed at how well older phones from Apple work. They just tend to work. So with Amazon Renewed, you actually get a 90-day return policy. It's gonna be brand new, at least seemingly brand new. Everything works. It didn't have any weird problems that you might get from buying from someone on eBay. Why am I gonna return this other than the fact that I don't need it? Because to be perfectly honest, much like the iPhone 6s, I actually kind of like this size, and the build quality on this thing and the smooth edges, I'm really kind of digging this. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think I would like this form factor, but I like it a lot. I mean, if nothing else, I could use it as like a remote control around here or something. I got tons of tech in my house, and I could control just about everything from this, so why wouldn't I just keep it? Well, there's one thing about Amazon Renewed that you need to read in the detail area, and thankfully, iOS will allow you to know whether or not you're getting jacked or not. And I kind of got jacked. I mean, the phone does work, don't get me wrong. Everything works about it. I literally just took a phone call on it during the filming of this video. So it's nothing like that. But in the details, they tell you that you are getting a phone with at least 80% battery life. Now, let's talk about this for a second. These are not completely refurbished from the manufacturer. In other words, they didn't replace the battery. They just made sure everything worked and it looked a certain way. And it, of course, performs. The problem is, you're supposed to get at least 80% capacity. Now, an 80% capacity of an iPhone 7 isn't exactly spectacular, but I mean, you're only paying $150 if you get 80%, which I didn't. When I actually checked, I got 70%. So that's bad. And it's gonna have to go back for that reason. But what does that exactly mean? It doesn't mean that when you charge the phone, it'll only go up to 70%. It just means the overall capacity of your phone is 70%. So here comes some math. If I charge this to 100%, it's 100% of 70%. And when I get down to 70%, it's 70% of 70%. Confused yet? Well, let me just break it down for you like this. I took this thing off the charger, and within an hour, I went from 100% to 70%. With only 30 minutes of on-screen time. That's a problem. Now, thankfully, Apple actually tells you the health of the battery. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that it was only at 70%. I might have thought it was a rogue app or something like that. But Apple is amazing, and in the operating system, it will tell you that this battery has problems. And it told me in no uncertain terms, this battery needs to be serviced. I'm not aware of any setting in Android that does that, and Google needs to get on that immediately because that's a big deal. Now, I'm already past the little thing that Apple did a year or so ago where they were doing battery replacements for like 30 bucks. So this is just gonna straight up go back. It doesn't match the description on the website. I paid for 80% or more, and I got 70% or potentially less. It doesn't do like 71%. This actually might be a 61% battery and just waiting to get to 60% before it flips over to 60. I think it's only showing it in tens. So I actually don't know what the battery capacity of this thing is, but it definitely would not last me the entire day, and that's a problem. So this gives me pause as far as recommending should you buy this phone on Amazon. Now, it could just be that this is a fluke, it's a one-off. It is indeed covered for 90 days, so I will get my return of my money, no problem. It's not gonna be an issue. And I'm sure that there are enough phones out there that'll be 80% or more if I went ahead and bought another one of these. And as a matter of fact, I'm considering buying other phones for this purpose, at least on YouTube. But I guess if you go for an Android phone, you literally have no idea what you're getting. I'm sure that there's an app out there that will tell you the health of your battery. I'm sure there is. And I'm sure there's a bunch of those apps that have all types of malware in them, so I hope you know which one to download. If you're on an Apple, you don't have to worry about that. You literally just go into the settings. So I don't know if I would tell anyone to get an older phone from Amazon Renewed. Now, a newer phone, like they have the Galaxy Folds right now for $1,500, that's a different story. The phone hasn't been out long enough for the battery to be worn down. This phone has been out for a long time, probably has a bunch of cycles on it, so it kind of makes sense. An iPhone XR or something like that just came out within the last year and a half, again, that one's probably okay. It's gonna be within a number of cycles where you're still gonna get the majority of the battery. But an iPhone 7 is many years old, and while this thing was obviously taken care of very well physically, they battered the hell out of this battery. With that being said, there is still an opportunity to get some really great deals on electronics. There's tons of Renewed products on Amazon that don't have a built-in lithium-ion battery that might be a problem. There's like wired headphones, there's all types of stuff you can get from there, so it's still a good deal overall, as long as you can find what you're looking for. But if you're looking for old phones, I might tell you just to not do it. Although again, you are covered. But what do you think? Are you gonna buy a phone from Amazon Renewed? Also, let me know what you want me to cover in the iPhone 7 review that I'm gonna do in a couple of days. Leave me a comment below and I'll try to take it into consideration when I put this thing through the paces. If this video helped you out in any way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if it didn't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm here every single week, having a blast. Hope to see you again real soon. Peace and love, peace and love. Ah, man.